Hey there, Booktube. Noah. Everyone who reads and must converses the channel. Thanks for coming back by. I saw an awesome tag and was tagged by Fraser Simon over at Springboard Thoughts. He created this tag, the Influencee tag. So I love this kind of thing. This is an excuse to shout out booktubers that I really enjoy that have influenced me in my book reading and in that constantly give me things to go for. Many of these booktubers that I'm going to shout out, I have multiple titles that I've gotten over the last 2 years under their influence, right? The first one, we're going to go for a couple that have, only one, but also quite a few of these. The influencee or the influencer has gifted it to me, or we've done a book exchange or something like this. So it's a hard influence, right? So thank you for this tag, Fraser Simons, and I'll have your the channel in the description box below. The first one is my boy Sion Doss. He's not on BookTube too much anymore, but he turned me on to Stuart Woods' New York Dead, said this was the best Stuart Woods. And so I'll check it out. He had sent this to me, said that he loved it. And when I showed it, it got another round of praise from people who were watching the live that time. And so I'm looking forward to it. Number two, Juan over at Plagued by Visions. Juan knows that I dig Southern Gothic, so he had sent me Harry Crew's A Childhood, the biography of a place. This is a cool biography, especially for someone who doesn't live in the South. I find that things like, if it doesn't have something extra to it, then Southern writing is not particularly interesting for me because I live here, So with this one right here, this was like, yeah, I can see that. Definitely not as, powerful and punchy as some Faulkner or something like this, Flannery O'Connor writing. So with this, it was just kind of a subdued, but I was happy to get into the life of an author who actually lived like where I live, is what it comes down to. So it was a cool experience. Thank you for that one. Number three is Seth over at Waste Mailing List. Seth said that In Watermelon Sugar was a book that he would love to experience again for the first time if he could. Well, that sold me. When somebody characterizes a book like that, that's when I am like, yes, that's my kind of read. I want something that I'll remember the first experience, and that it's just a great book. And this is a really cool book. It's a really weird book. This will put you in a weird place, but I did enjoy In Watermelon Sugar, and since have read quite a few more Brautigan, In Watermelon Sugar is my favorite so far. So number four, Emmy over at the channel of the same name turned me on to Autobiography of Red. She did an awesome video where she was just praising and Carson deservedly, let me tell you, because this short little slim novel in prose is a very, very well done. It's a beautiful work to go through, and you're following a mythological being, so it's just something where you're floating in this beautiful, weird fantasy land. It was pretty cool. Number five is an influencer, Rick Harsch. He's an author of The Manifold Destiny of Eddie Vegas. This is a great book, and I was turned on to this by Leaf. Chris Villa over there at Leaf by Leaf. I love it, but Rick Harsch has turned me on to book after book as well. And one of the ones that I can't wait to get to is George Perec, Life, a User's Manual. This comes out of a school of writing where, I think the book only takes place over the course of like an hour or something, right? This chunker here is like is maybe even a few minutes, something crazy like that. And we got 654 pages to it. So I'm interested to see where this goes. If it comes highly regarded by somebody that I respect their opinion, I go for it. And there's a lot of good opinions on books being thrown around Booktube. A lot of bad opinions too. So these are the ones that I that I like, right? Number 6 is my boy across the pond, Mark Nash. Mark Nash speaks very highly of David Peace, and so do many others. Jack over at Rambling Raconteur, Rick Harsch as well. So I got Tokyo Year Zero here. I have another David Peace as well. These will be quick, thrilling kind of reads from what I gather. So thank you, Mark Nash, for turning me on to that one. And I mentioned Jack at Rambling Raconteur already. He's my next one. Number 7, Jack at Rambling Raconteur. Turn me on to The Conference of the Birds by Farid Atar. This is a book that seems like right up my alley. Spiritual allegory from a Muslim perspective. Persian, Sufi Muslim, maybe, from what I gather. And I can't wait. I can't wait. Borges references Conference of the Birds in a couple of his stories. This kind of thing is just an influential spiritual allegory, and I'll be happy to get into it. Another one that Jack turned me on to is getting into Toni Morrison this year. He loves Toni Morrison, speaks very highly of her, so this year I jumped into it, read Sula, and then read Beloved, and what a wonderful book this is. It's a heartbreaking work. It's very, very scary, this book. It's very, very scary. Maybe one of the most horrifying books I've ever read, to tell you the truth. Again, partly because of it, you know, some of this, the worst parts of this happen in Georgia, and it's, you know, it's a hard pill to swallow that this Alfred, Georgia, is such a hellish place, totally devoid of humanity. It's a heavy read, but fun. You know, it's a ghost story. Number 8, my boy Dario over at Motley Reads. Dario is always giving great suggestions, but I picked up The Bridge on the Drina by Ivo Andric, and starting this one very, very soon. This is I don't even know what to think about this. It seems like kind of a historical odyssey, dreamlike maybe, where you're going through different time periods, or however many time periods coalesce into the book, all centered around the bridge on the Drina, an actual bridge in Serbia, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually reading this with my boy Alexa Jovanovic, who's in Serbia, so I'm sure we're going to have some awesome conversation about that. Finally, 9, or not, last but not least, the penultimate, let's go for that, is my boy Ami over at Ami, open parentheses, close parentheses. This is Borges. I can't thank Ami enough for influencing me and gifting me this collection, and just changing my reading life, because Borges is a treasure, an amazing treasure. Okay, so the last one, but it's going to tie into the announcement that I'm going to make, is Tom at LA Books. Tom at LA Books. Tom is a great guy. He reads a lot of great stuff and is also a big influence on me because he has a completely different background in his life, being Italian American, and I love it. So he had sent me the first 2 books of the Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe, and it was in a paperback copy. He just sent it to me and said, "Hey, you talked about wanting to read this. I had an extra copy. Here you go." And that was really cool. But I was talking about it and very excited about it, and it was around my birthday. So my mother got me the complete 4-volume Book of the New Sun, and it's in the wrap. So let's go ahead and open this baby up. All right, it's gonna be mint, baby. It's gonna be mint. It is. Bam. The Book of the New Sun by Gene Wolfe. So I'm starting, we're going to start reading this. We'll start at the beginning of this next month. And I can't wait. A dark, weird, very weird, very violent fantasy, maybe allegorical. I don't know. It's something that is not easily pinned down. I can't wait to experience it myself. There's like I said, 4 volumes to the Book of the New Sun. The Shadow of the Torturer, The Claw of the Conciliator, Sword of the Lictor, and Citadel of the Autarch. So I will open it up. Let's we have a Voxer on just to discuss Book of the New Sun. So if anybody wants to get in on it, I'll have a link. I'll have my Voxer down in the description box as well. Find me on that messaging app, and we'll do it. I'll give you the dust jacket if you like. This back is so cool. This edition is just banging. It's banging to have it all in a hardcover like this. I love it. So love it. All right, 1,000,000 years from now, the old sun dies. The fate of Earth rests in the hands of one man. Book of the New Sun. And our main character is Severin. He is a very wild character. He is a torturer. He is a very devoid of a morality kind of person. He has his own ethic, has been raised from a child to be someone who will torture and kill people at command. And that's just what it is. So here are the books that Ursula K. Le Guin calls a masterpiece. Harlan Ellison named a lodestone landmark, and Gregory Benford hailed as one of the true classics of the genre, bending the lyric extravagance of fantasy and the keen edge of science fiction. Book of the New Sun weaves a powerful tapestry of awesome terror and dreamlike beauty. It begins in a future so distant our civilization is no longer even a memory, and the remnants of our science seem like magical forces. It is a time when the sun is dying, and legend speaks of the return of the Conciliator, who will bring about the birth of the new sun. In the great citadel, young Severin is apprenticed in the order of the Seekers for Truth and Penitence, the ancient guild of torturers, until he is banished for the sin of mercy. Armed with the sword Terminus Est, Severin wanders the lands of earth on his way to a post in a distant Thrax. It is an odyssey fraught with monsters and mysteries, and woven about with strange portents, for into his hands falls a miraculous gem, whose powers move him to a grander destiny, a destiny he dare not refuse. So, let me know. And there are some cool booktubers that have read it and put out some content on this already. I haven't watched a lot of it because I don't want any spoilers, but it makes me more and more excited. So check it out if you want to get excited about it, and get your hands on a copy if you want to join the read along. And thank you very much for the tag. Catch you on the next one, Booktube. Bye-bye.